Hello, everybody. This is Trace Perot. This is my station 20 at 70, which I named thusly because I am 71 and a half years old. And I feel like I'm 20. And the reason for that is because I am an 80-10-10er. I follow a low-fat raw vegan diet. I have been low-fat raw vegan for the last 15, 16, 17 years, something like that. Before that, I was a high-fat raw vegan. So for a total of 30 plus years, I've been exploring nutrition, and I'm absolutely convinced that I've reached the ultimate in terms of the human diet. And I prove that to myself every day. Anyways, I created this channel so I could share my experience and my lifestyle, which albeit is quite unusual, very non-mainstream, but this is where the things like, raw vegan, low-fat raw vegan comes from. It doesn't come from Wall Street. It comes from people like me experimenting, people who are creative, people who don't take things for face value, don't believe the system, don't believe the government, and question everything. So if you're one of these people, or if you're not, and you're having a lot of trouble with your own lifestyle, your own diet, your own way of living, hopefully I can give you some hints, some proof, some evidence, some examples of, an alternative way to live. And it's becoming obvious every day that our society is unraveling. And so, you need to choose up sides. If you're going to be a carnivore, fine, go off, get your chronic diseases all in a row and your medications. If you're going to be a vegan, then you can throw all that out the window and, get on the bandwagon. So anyways, I've been doing this kind of lifestyle thing with my videos. This is video number 5. I call it Raw Vegan Reality because it just basically shows the reality of what living like a low-fat raw vegan is like for me. And hopefully along the way you can pick up tips and tricks and whatnot to help you along your food journey. So, just as a summary, let's see, related to where I'm coming from, of course, is my astrological makeup. Now, the two most important signs in your chart are your moon sign and your sun sign. The third most important sign in your chart is your rising sign. These are the signs that are kind of up front. They determine a lot of what you experience in your life. And if you don't believe in cosmic programming, which is i.e. the influence of planets on human beings, right? Go out in the sun with your shirt off for 4 hours and see if you don't get sunburn. Okay, so the planets, influence us. There's no question about it. Unfortunately, astrology has been lost in this complex scientific scenario that nobody can understand and very few people can follow, and it does very few people any good. So I am in the process, as I have been for several years, of creating, designing a whole new look at astrology so that it's something you can carry in your back pocket and make your life much easier. So in that regard, I'm going to delve a little bit into my own astrology. So and where I'm coming from. So a lot of my sense of alternative living comes from my moon in Pisces. Pisces is the last sign in the zodiac. It is in the spiritual quadrant. The 12 signs of the zodiac are divided into 4 quadrants, which progress from the physical to the emotional, to the mental, to the spiritual. pretty much the way a human being's own psychology and existence would progress through the course of a lifetime, right? So my moon being in Pisces, and your moon sign is basically your emotional side. It is your, I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it's not the upfront thing that you present as your ego in the world. It's actually how you really are, and how you are, what I say is how you are at home, right? When you go out into the world, you're your sun sign. Okay, so my sun sign is Taurus. That is in the physical quadrant. So that explains a lot of why I'm so oriented towards, um, natural lifestyles, the material of food, the importance of getting food that is natural, and those sort of things. Also, Taurians are known in the zodiac as being as being thinking of things on a completely different level, right? So we're called the twisted thinkers of the zodiac, right? So if you delve into a Taurus, maybe you know a Taurus, you're going to find that they don't think like anybody else, all right? So as a result of this, these two factors, the moon sign and the sun sign, and I believe my rising sign is Taurus as well, but I don't know my time of birth, so it's a guess, but it's a good guess. These have influenced the course of my life and the things that I'm into, which all are very alternative. Another thing about Pisceans is they can be very creative. Tauruses are ruled by Venus, and that's the planet of beauty and pleasure. So we're very much into beauty. So in my case, it's creating beauty, like the painting you see in back of me. I'm an artist, I'm a musician, so I'm constantly striving to create beautiful things that make people's lives a little better. And on the other hand, Pisces is known as somebody who works with the garbage dump of the universe, literally. If you know a Piscean, you're going to find this to be true if you delve into it a little bit. So they're very good. Like, for instance, in my case, if you gave me a blowtorch and a welding torch and a junkyard, I would go in and I would make incredibly beautiful things out of it. We're good with the garbage of the universe. Okay, so that's just to give you a little bit of an insight of where I'm coming from. We'll get deeper into that. I'm going to try to formalize my whole approach to astrology, because I think it's just incredibly useful. And it's not going to be about charts. It's not going to be about predictions. It's not going to be about any of that stuff. It's going to be about having something in your back pocket that you can pull out and it is immediately useful to you in all aspects of your life. Okay. So saying, that's all I have to say about that right now, but stay tuned for more on that. So as far as the lifestyle is going right now, how about the music? Okay, in the music area, let's see, what I'm doing is I've created a band, a rock and roll band. Although I'm trained in jazz, I've somehow gotten myself involved in rock and roll. I think that was originally from songwriting. So, but there's a lot of influence of other kinds of music in there. So, songwriting kind of got me more basic, although some of my songs are jazzy. But at any rate, the last gig we did was the Hilo Town Market. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to take this band from scratch into a money-making proposition. I don't even know if that's feasible on the Big Island of Hawaii. I know people are making fairly good money at doing that. It's going to be a supplementary type of income at its best, right? Because until you get an agent and you start traveling and selling your music online, you're not really going to, make a living at it. But at any rate, that's what I'm doing. So the slow progression is involves, like Taurus is the plodder, right? Like a bull, we plod through things. So I'm plodding along. I'm getting a gig every now and then, here and there. And the last one I had was the Hilo Town Friday night market, which was actually the biggest audience that this band has played in front of, and it went very well. Went way better than I thought it was going to go. I'm dealing with musicians that I can't always get together to rehearse with, so I have to innovate. I have to come up with charts, and I have to communicate on on text and all this stuff. But it went really well. The musicians were excellent. We pulled it together, and it went nice. Um, and I just got a call back from my other gig at the sports bar in Kealakekua on the west side, which is where the money is to be made. And they want us back after we played there about a month and a half ago, I think. So we got another gig there. So I'm very pleased about that. So things are moving along. I'm keeping my expectations low. I'm not going to be playing the Coliseum anytime soon. So I'm just plodding along. I'm also appearing every Wednesday night at the local dive bar. This is a concession. Obviously, I don't drink or smoke or eat meat. But it gives me a chance to get up in front of an audience every Wednesday. It gives me a chance to sort of psych out what the common audience wants to hear, how they respond to what I'm doing, that sort of thing. So I get this every single week. And it's turning out pretty good. People, we're doing really well. People really like us. So that's an ongoing progression. It's also a form of rehearsal. Since the big island's spread out and musicians don't always live close together, you can't always, ask people to travel 20 miles to do a rehearsal. I mean, it's just not realistic. So you got to use other methods. So that is going very well. What else? Oh, so so I've been communicating with this woman in Venezuela. As you know, I'm a bachelor. I'm single, right? So, and I speak Spanish, and I speak pretty good Spanish. I took it for 8 years straight in a row, and from the time I was in junior high school until the end of college, and so I can read and write and speak pretty well. Not fluently at this point because I'm not living in a Spanish-speaking country, but at any rate. So I've been talking to this woman in Venezuela for like the last 4 months. She's waiting on a visa. She's going to come and visit me. But in the meantime, we struck up a deal. So I am now the proud owner of a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom condominium in Venezuela on the coastline, very near the Caribbean. I'm not going to say the names of these places because, for obvious reasons. But if you're interested in this kind of thing, you're looking for an investment, you want to move to a Latin American country, which not a lot of people do. Basically, we found this area that's very exclusive, right? There are rich people in Venezuela. They're primarily probably people that have garnered their riches from the oil trade. Venezuela has more oil than any other country in the world, but their government is so corrupt that they haven't been able to keep up with the technology. So they haven't been able to capitalize on that. Initially they did, brought in millions and millions of dollars, but then their oil infrastructure fell apart. And now it's one of the poorest countries in the world. People are starving. They're escaping through the Darien Strait, trying to get across the border, Mexican, American border. So it's just dire situation. But in this particular area is completely exclusive and secure. So I have purchased this condo and we are renting it out to vacationers. Okay. This is a woman who works about 30 hours a week and makes $40 a month, right? So this is going to be a big boon to her in terms of economic, well-being. And it also gives me a place where I can go and retire if I want to do that. So anyways, that's what's happening there. So anyways, I'm just going to run this video. I'm just going to talk a little bit about what you're going to see. I have a whole food section. I'm going to start off with food. What I'm doing with food, what my refrigerator looks like, how I'm handling food, my mindset about eating low-fat, raw vegan. Then I'm going to take a little trip to the Sunday market, show you what that's all about. And what else? This was on a Sunday. It was last Sunday, I believe. So I went to the beach. I'm going to KAKAPANA, which is a black sand clothing optional beach, every Sunday. That is a fairly decent weather. So, it's a great workout. I have to ride my bike a total of about 13 and a half, 14 miles. Then I got to go down a cliff, then I do yoga, then I blah, 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 swim in the ocean. So it's an excellent workout. And I'm doing that every Sunday. This particular Sunday, though, I took a different bike that's much lighter, and I didn't want to go out my bumpy road, so I'm going to take you across the lava on a little trek, across the lava out onto the road and down towards the beach. And then we're going to end with, a coda at KAKAPANA Beach, one of the most beautiful beaches I've ever been to. Warm water, black sand, just a gorgeous place. And so that's basically what this video is going to be all about. And I am posting these every Sunday. And please subscribe, ring the notification bell. You've heard it before. Like and share the video. I'm kind of going up and down. I've had videos that had 2,500 views, and I've had videos that have had like 30 views, So right now I'm running kind of like about 70 to 100 on each of these episodes of Raw Vegan Reality. Although my shorts, I had one short that was very simple about making a smoothie, and it got 500 hits within like 3 days. So, it's up and down. Which it doesn't matter that much to me, but, because I'm not trying to do this to make money. I'm just doing it to contribute to the, 80-10-10 raw vegan vegetarian community, or the community of people who are doing a standard American diet and are not getting the results that they want. So that's really why I'm doing this. And I'm going to continue. This, once again, is episode number 5. And we'll just let the camera roll. So it's the day after the gig. And I am pretty darn tired today. After playing 3 sets, setting up, breaking down, coming home, relaxing, eating. I'm pretty tired today, so I'm just chilling all day. And I started the day, of course, with, banana ice cream with smothered in soaked raisins and celery on the side. I had a few dates, and I had dates and apples. So that's what I've eaten so far today. It's now about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 3:30. And I looked in the refrigerator. Tomorrow's market day, so I didn't have squat in my refrigerator as far as lettuce to make a good salad or even zucchini to spiralize. So I took some leftover pasta sauce from last night when I didn't eat any fat. And I spiralized cucumbers and chopped up celery. I had a half a head of lettuce left. And a small and some cabbage, some red cabbage. So I chopped all that up, stuck it in here, made a salad, and combined avocados with took one avocado medium size, cut it in half, took half out, mixed it with lime juice, put it in the salad as a dressing, mixed it around. Took the other half of the avocado, sliced it up, put the slices in there because then you get more heightened flavor. It doesn't have as much lime juice in it, so you get that good avocado flavor. And then over the top, I spread the rest of my zucchini spaghetti sauce. So this is the end of the week meal. I'm going to eat it. I'm a little late. So my only worry is that I've been exercising at sunset, going out and do heavy hands, which is power walking with weights. It's a cardio and muscular building exercise. I do 30 to 45 minutes, 3 times a week, hopefully. I usually do that at sunset, and I wanted to do it tonight, but I'm a little late, but I'm really hungry, and I want to eat something, like a salad right now. So I'm going to have my salad at 3:30. I won't have as much energy after I have the salad, of course, but when sunset comes around, I'm going to go ahead and exercise anyways. Usually I only exercise on fruit when I've been eating fruit because my energy level is really high. Once I eat a salad, then I'm no good for exercise for the next 4 hours until I eat some more high-density sweet fruit. So that's the rundown. So here's my Sunday market. Basically, it's a restaurant, and they rent out to the people the Pamela Produce. She comes through here on Sundays and she lines up everything. So there it is, all this incredible produce. So I hit it every Sunday morning, and that's where I get my stuff. Variety of items: lilikoi, ramatans, longans, tangerines, or tangerines, and star fruit. And these babies right here, these are star apples. These are unbelievably delicious. And an avocado. I'm a big believer in variety on the low-fat, raw vegan diet, especially in the fruit area. So, what are these? These are, what are these called? Jaboticabas. Right? Each one of these fruits has a very high level of certain specific nutrients, and they're different for each fruit, which is nice. So these are longans, and these are rambatans, and these are lilikoi. Of course, I've got the citrus, the tangerines. These are star fruit. Right here, this is star fruit. Incredibly delicious, very light tasting. And I'll look up what the nutrients are in these different fruits and let you know. These are unbelievably good. These are mountain apples. I mean, these things, they're purple. You cut them open and they're purple. And they're just so delicious. And this season is just starting now. So we're going to be eating lots of mountain apples for the next few months. And then I got some oranges, along with all the other goodies. Of course, papayas and bananas back there in the back on top of my bicycle. So yeah, I'm a big believer in as much variety as possible, and that's why Hawaii is one of the most ideal places in the world to be an 80-10-10er, because you get variety all year long. You get different, you get 3-4 months of jackfruit, 3 or 4 months of mountain apples, and then other stuff. And so I just think it's pretty ideal for 80-10-10. Test 1 2. Just returned from the market Sunday morning. Now I'm drinking a smoothie with kale, passion fruit, bananas, and soaked raisins and soaked raisin water, and chomping on
fresh spinach. So that's what it's going to look like for probably right up until 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. Different variations, some apples, dates, papaya, celery. You know, it's kind of like there's a concept, if that's the right word. There's a concept that sort of drives you when you're eating any kind of food. You know, either you're eating to satisfy your hunger, or you're eating to avoid hunger in the future, or you're eating, you know, because you want to eat. Maybe you want to suppress emotions. But my orientation is almost strictly has to do with calories, has to do with energy, and has to do with satisfaction. So, you know, the driving thing in my mind with regard to food is calories first and foremost, right? Satisfaction gives you the energy, the emotional satisfaction, emotional gratification, flavor. That gives you the fuel as well. Spinach is just very delicious. And I know it's better to eat greens with high-density sweet fruit, I think, because it delays the release of the sugar into your bloodstream. And I noticed a significant difference in the way I feel if I just eat the sweet fruit with no greens. So anyways, this would mark a major difference between the way I look at food and the way somebody eating a standard American diet looks at food. Right? Because as I remember, when you wanted to eat, you were hungry, you weren't thinking about these concepts, right? You were thinking about, well, maybe stamina, but you were thinking about not being hungry in the future. You were thinking about satisfying cravings. You were thinking about, maybe you weren't thinking, you were just addicted to all that salt and sugar and processed food. So it's a completely different mindset. And it's important because what you're thinking has a direct influence on what your action is going to be. So in the raw vegan world, in the 80-10-10 world, you got to be thinking about not only the delicious, fresh flavor of all this food, and the satisfaction it gives you, you got to be thinking about, and the calories for the day. So it's like, you're not going to pull your truck out of your driveway if it doesn't have any fuel in it. So the first thing you want to do is start fueling up, for the day's driving, right? Whether that be your body or your automobile. All right, I want to show you what a mountain apple or a star apple looks like. So I'm going to cut it in half. There it is. Look at that beautiful color. Okay? That beautiful purple color. It's probably the only thing you'll eat that has this color, except for maybe eggplant on the skin. But it tastes out of this world. It's like kind of gelatinous. It's got seeds. I can't even describe the flavor. It's like nothing else that you'll ever eat. So I'll look up the nutrient value just out of curiosity. But I'm not too terribly concerned because I'm getting a big variety of fruit. And, I must be getting lots of way more than sufficient amounts of different kinds of nutrients from all the different foods that I'm eating. But it will be interesting to find out, what's high in what. So just got back from the market. I've got a bunch of bananas left over from last week, so I'm going to cut those up and freeze them, take the skins off of them. But I wanted to show you this, which is my little water bowl that I put in the refrigerator, and all my greens I stick in here enough so that their tips are in the water. and it seems to keep them green for a long time. I'm still experimenting with this, but so far it's been helpful to keep those greens edible all week without rotting. And that, of course, goes into the refrigerator in the bowl. So I've got cilantro, I've got romaine, I've got kale, I've got collard greens, I've got that whatever this Chinese herbs green is that I love now so much. And so it's going to sit in there in water. And the big advantage of this is that when you go to make a salad, you just pull the thing out and you got all your greens right there. You put them on the counter and you can pick and choose. Rather than having to dig through the whole refrigerator, find your bags of produce and pull them out one at a time. So it's like amazingly convenient. Is that if you peel your corn when you buy it from the market, right? If you put it in a plastic bag in the refrigerator, it's not going to get dried out, okay? If you leave it outside, out of the refrigerator, and it looks like, after a few days, it'll look like this. It'll get all dried out. That's even if you don't peel it, if you just leave it like this. So I'm going to start peeling my corn right away. I'm going to put it in a plastic bag and store it in the refrigerator. Now, the only thing I had go bad this week was this celery. And to tell you the truth, I can't remember when I bought it, but I remember going to Cost You Less at discount place and buying 3 packages of celery because they were like $1.99 a piece. At the health food store, they're like $3.50 a pound. So this pretty much, well, it's not all bad. There's still a little bit left in there. But for the whole week, that's pretty good as far as produce that didn't quite make the cut. This is a ripe apple banana. Looks like it's bad, but we're going to cut it open and see what it looks like on the inside. Perfect banana. So I'm taking my leftover bananas and I'm peeling them and I'm going to freeze them. And so I'll have some lovely banana ice cream within 5-6 hours. So I'm probably going to leave in about a half hour for the beach. And I'm going to load up on carbs. I'm going to do my big old banana, dinosaur kale, cilantro, and lilikoi smoothie. And so this is the only sweet fruit I'm going to have today. I'm running an experiment. So I want to discuss very briefly why I'm going to the beach. And I put one of my paintings in back of me so you have something pretty to look at. And the first and foremost reason I'm going to say, and this is my chance to interject a little cosmic programming into the subject, is because my moon is in Pisces. Pisces is a water sign. Okay, the 2 most prominent signs in your chart, the most influential energies in your chart, are your sun sign, which in my case is a Taurus the bull, and your moon sign, right, which in my case is Pisces. So I have a natural affinity for water. I'm very good in water. I'm a great swimmer. I love to surf, body surf, all that good stuff. So that's like my motivation, and so that's not actually a free will thing. It is kind of, but not really, I like to be around water. And it's because I was born at a certain time, on a certain day, in a certain year, and it turned out that what planet was coming over the horizon was the moon. Or no, what is it? Neptune, which rules Pisces. So I wanted to get that clear. I'm also going to refresh, and water also represents emotion. So getting into water, especially for me, is like an emotional cleansing. So what does that mean? That means, your emotions are taken as fuel for your endeavors and not as something that holds you back or causes you a tremendous amount of pain or anything, right? So getting into water is kind of like an emotional cleansing. It sort of sets me up for the week. And
you know, that's that. Great. I want to get sunshine on my genitals, right? It's a clothing optional beach. So it's always good to get sunshine on your genitals, you know, for healthy, you know, physicality. And I'm also going for the exercise, for the workout. I want to get a workout. So, and I want to get out in nature. I want to see the beauty of nature. Being a Taurus, I'm ruled by Venus, which is the goddess of beauty and pleasure. So it fulfills my value of seeing something very beautiful because the coastline is incredibly beautiful here. So I'm going to take a lighter bike. I've got this Marin. It's a hybrid. Doesn't have any suspension on it. And it's a really pleasant bike to ride. You sit upright. It's probably half the weight of my mountain bike. And I've got a nice basket to put on the back, and I'm going to carry a backpack. And because it doesn't have any suspension, because the tires are smaller, I'm going to walk across the lava. It's going to save me about 1.5 miles of riding, and it's going to keep me from having to go over that bumpy-ass road out of here and get rattled, you know. So I'm going to walk across the lava and hit the road and then ride to the beach. Alrighty, I'm ready to head for the beach. Got a tire patch kit. Not going to take the oil. I don't need that. Chain oil. Don't have a spare inner tube. That's for my other bike. Tire patch kit, bungee cord, sunscreen, gloves, a very lightweight towel, some trunks, and an umbrella. And I may take 4 or 5 apples to snack on. So I'm ready for the beach, ready to ride to the beach, actually ready to walk across the lava, which I'll show a little bit of. And I got everything. I'm a little heavier than I want to be, but I'm going to take this backpack off and put it on my back. So that'll lighten, you know, that'll make it a little easier. So let's do this thing, right? So somebody's building a house right near mine. Anyways, hope y'all can see I got the camera right. This is my departure point right here. I'm going to walk straight across the lava and hook up with the road. So I'm about 1/3 of the way through. Over there where the tree line is where the road is. And you can see lava all around me. And you see all those little plants, like this one right here? Well, those little plants shed their leaves, right? And over the course of 300 years, all these little plants shed their leaves. And even more plants grow because there's a little bit of detritus they can grab a hold of. And it takes 300 years, apparently, for something like this to look like something in the distance there, where there's like 4 or 5 inches of topsoil over this lava rock. Kind of an interesting process. As you can see, there's some of the interesting designs in the lava. As it slows down in a flow, then the top starts to cool and the lava continues underneath. But as the top starts to cool, it's still moving around, right? So if one could have the sensation of walking on the ocean, this is kind of what it would be like. Frozen ocean. So here's a crevasse. As you can see, there's even plants growing down there, coming up. So that's where the lava's totally broken apart. Another formation that's kind of interesting. So here we're in a more advanced state of the vegetation reclaiming the land. So you got trees, you got bushes, you got flowers, right? And then when you go across the road, it's full on. So what that means is that across the road was the lava flow the longest time ago. And then there was one that probably came through here paralleling the road.
after that, right? And by that time, that was grown up. So that was, who knows how many years. And the lava flow spilled out through KAKAPANA Gardens, right? And so that lava flow is new. That's the newest. So there's like 3 lava flows here. There's the newest one that didn't have very much vegetation. There's what's left of this one, right? And then there's the one that back there where all the green vegetation is. So I made it out of the lava, and I have to say I think that's the last time I'll do that, carry a bike across the lava. Just wasn't worth it. It was a total workout in itself, and I think driving out the road is probably a better bet. So another busy Sunday at the beach, KAKAPANA, Black Sand Beach. Got the coconut vendors. Don't see my fruit girl though. So I'm going to rest up a little bit, and the next step is to get down that cliff. So this is the altar to the god of KAKAPANA Beach, I guess. Which I'm sitting above waiting for the sun to come out. It's been rainy today, so I'm snacking on dates and celery. I'm just hanging out to see if it's going to be a worthy day for swimming. It looks like. Because you can't tell how steep it is. This is not the side. This is the south side, the side I came up last time. I went down the north side last time. I made it down the cliff. Actually, I locked my bike halfway down. Maybe nobody's going to go to the trouble to try to get it up there. But here I am at the Black Sand Beach. Going native with drum circles full on right now. Tap into the local rhythms here. There's some pretty good drummers that show up. Finished swimming. Wonderful. Water's just nice and warm. Sun is out. Not a cloud in the sky. Heading back now. It's about 5 o'clock. The ride back is exceptionally easy. So seems to be the way it goes around here. Going north is hard. Going south is easy. In fact, it's that way everywhere, I think. But beautiful evening. Got my 50 push-ups in, went swimming twice,
body surfing, yoga, and yeah, so it went well. A great way to spend a Sunday, you know, the turn of the week. I'll tell you, man, this road is rattling my chain, especially on this bike with no suspension. But all in all, I think it's better than trying to trek across the lava. But I'm almost home. I'm just taking a breather, looking out at that blue ocean and surrounded by some interesting architecture. I call this one the Titanic. So we got the trail over here, the dome, and this one I don't know what to call. I guess it's a chalet. It's the KAKAPANA chalet. And they've been working on this for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. Looks like it's going to be a nice little abode. I definitely prefer the dome structures though. As far as living, they are quite an experience to live in.